everybody, it's Erin here from Ephemera. Welcome back to the channel. Today, are you guys sick of watching me sort ephemera yet for this next journal? Because I feel like maybe I'm boring you, but here's the thing. Y'all know I participate on some Facebook groups and stuff, and one of the questions that I see regularly from folks that are just starting out, or they're into it for a while, and now we've got these extraordinary stashes full of stuff, is how is everybody organizing their stuff? And I'm here to tell you that there's no right answer. The answer is probably going to be a little bit different for everybody, determined by your particular space, your particular stash, and also your particular organizing personality. And if you don't know what that is, everybody has a different personality, right? We all know that. So, and different behaviors. And in the same way, we have different organizing behaviors. And if you're curious as to what yours might be, my suggestion is that you go out to the YouTube channel Clutterbug. The host of that channel, Cass Arson, she is a professional organizer. She's the host of HGTV's Messy House. I forget the name of the show, but and she's written some wonderful books. But she has developed a quiz to tell you what type of organizing personality or clutter bug, they're all named after bugs, you are. And the quiz is free. It's free information. And then from there, you can watch some videos on her channel, and there's other organizing YouTubers and content creators who also kind of follow this philosophy as well. You can search for organizing solutions for your particular organizing style, and then that'll help point you to solutions that'll work best for you. So anyway, my particular style is B, especially when I'm in my studio. My style flexes a little bit depending on other areas of my house, but in my studio, I am definitely a B. And I think if I can make a prediction, I think probably a good majority percentage of you are also probably Bs as well. Crafters tend to be Bs, I think. So anyway, so Bs are very visual, and but we also like little categories. We also tend to be very detailed. So that's the struggle in a craft room, right? Because I like all my stuff kind of out where I can see it, because if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. But I can't just dump stuff in a bin. I like having things subdivided and into little smaller categories. So for me, part of the joy of the junk journaling stash for me, outside of the activity of doing the journal making and the journal decorating, but part of the joy of the stash for me is the sorting and the categorizing. So anyway, so if you're like me and that's part of the joy in it for you, then, these videos are definitely right up your alley. So, and let me know in the comments if that's you or not, just because I'm curious as to kind of where you fall on that spectrum. Do you, enjoy that, or is this just kind of the headache that you need to get through in order to do what the parts that you really love? So anyway, so for this project, I wanted to try something a little bit different. I wanted to try and do a bunch of prep work up front of making the journal, or more than I've done in the past at any rate. I'm not a person who has done a lot of mass making in the past. I'm not a person who has done a lot of let me print and gather my papers and pre-do all my fussy cutting and, all that stuff. And because of that, my journals tend to take a very long time, and they're still going to take a long time. I enjoy the process. It's the process for me more than the end product that I enjoy. So, but, in an effort to be more organized, and this being a theme that I think even if it's not a dedicated celestial theme journal, I would think I'm going to probably gravitate towards this style ephemera more often than not. It'll be something that I will kind of go back towards. So I kind of went a little bit more all out in this case. So anywho, I showed you my project box in the last video, and I showed you my big bag of ephemera packs that I cut out, and I told you I needed to sort it and then I would do it off camera. So that activity is done, and I just wanted to show you what I ended up with. So right here, this is going to be kind of like my little working box that I'm going to keep on my desk while I'm working on this. And in here so far, I've got some teeny tiny word labels and my little round punches, which I think I put this bag together before I did the rest of my sorting. So this is actually going to get incorporated into one of my other boxes. So this bag is going to be disappearing. But then I've got I've got page tabs and larger size quotes and words in this little bag. And you'll notice I have this been subdivided. And then also stuck in here are the washi tapes that I had picked out, my little blue watercolor dots, and then also this pad of celestial style washi stickers. On this side of the bin, I have a couple of plastic bags. These are from the digital kit. There's a couple of envelope cutouts, and these other things, they can either be used as a trifold folio cover or as an envelope. So I've got those cut out and ready to work with, and those are here. And then in this bag, I've got the pocket cutouts from the digital kit. There's a couple of larger corner pockets, some smaller stackable pockets, and then there's a smaller belly band that I put in here as well. And then in this other bin in the center, this is for my tiny scraps, things that I could still make like a little circle punch out of, or a page tab, or just collage with, that are the celestial paper I'm going to put in there. Larger scraps will go back in the project box. And then I showed you this navy lace that I got for the project. I cut the piece that I had in half. I had bought 18 inches or half a yard of this lace, and I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do with it. So I decided to cut it in half, and half of that, so 9 inches, went back into my project box to save for potentially use on the cover. And 9 inches is going in this box because I would like to use this somehow to make pockets or some sort of like belly band, or, you know, pouch or something for in some pages. So that's why that's there. And moving over to this side, I just recently purchased, let me grab it here one second. It's just out of my reach. I've just recently purchased one of these boxes, and I have yet to, like, you know, really fill it up. And that is going to hold kind of categorized ephemera pieces. So since, like I said, celestial is one of those things that I'm going to gravitate towards time and time again. It's kind of always been a favorite theme of mine. I was okay pulling out these boxes to sort into, because anything that I don't use in this journal is definitely going to get used in future journals. So here's the categories that I ended up with. Excuse me. So this box right here are all of these are little fussy cuts, die cuts, word labels that are celestial themed. So these are like the little flourishes for the end, and kind of some stuff in there, and also some stickers. So this envelope that I had over here, that needs to end up in there. So that's that box. Okay. And then this box is small tags and cards down to the teeny tiny tags. So anything that's, I mean, this is about the biggest that I put in there, but, and this could have probably been justified to go in a different bin, but this, you know, I tried not to overthink things. If I felt like it went in here, it went in here. Anyway, so small cards and tags down to teeny tiny tags are in this box. Okay. Oof, those need to loosen up a little bit. Okay, so that's those two. This one, I took all of my larger size card and tag bases that I had cut out for this kit, and I put all of those in size order into this one. And wouldn't you know it, for my digitals at least, the largest size tags fit perfectly inside this box. So happy accident. It was not on purpose, but happy accident. So that's good to know. And then this box is all of the vellum that I printed out, with the exception of some pieces that I kept out, and I'll explain why in just a bit. But regardless of the size that I printed it, the vellum pieces are in here because typically, if you're looking for vellum, you're specifically looking for vellum. So I kept that out separate. So those are the 4 categories that I sorted into. So I'll be labeling everything. I've run out of tape in my label maker, so that's why they're not labeled already, but that is coming up. So then I was left with some pieces that I kept out, and I'll explain why. So these belly bands were too large to fit in the bag, so that's why those got left out. And I have an idea for something that I want to do with all of the belly bands, all the paper belly bands anyway. So yeah, that'll be something. These are from the digital kit, and they are sets of kind of accordion style things. They were also too tall to fit into the belly band and whatever bag. And they're just kind of unique. They didn't fit into really any other category. So this is a project that I want to tackle sooner rather than later to figure out what I'm going to do with these. I mean, you could also cut these apart or cut them into halves and do little trifolds or, you know, whatever. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with all these sooner rather than later. So I kept those out. This was a piece from one of the Ephemera kits, and it's printed as though it's 3 separate cards, but I kept these together thinking that I might do some sort of a trifold thing or a larger belly band or something like that. They all seem to go together. So I kept that together. It's too large to fit into the bag. I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with it. So therefore, yep, you guessed it, it got kept out. Same thing with this. I kept it together in case I wanted to do like a little booklet or an over the page flip or something like that. I've got another piece over here where I did the same thing. I got a couple of pieces of vellum, larger pieces of vellum, and large size cutouts that are, you know, really on the large side to be cards. So these are going to somehow figure in to be page features or something like that. And then I've got some pieces of vellum that I particularly had in mind for some things as well. So those got left out as well. So really, because these are kind of falling outside of any other categories, this is the pile of stuff that I want to tackle first. So by taking the time to sort through all of this stuff in preparation for making my journal, I've also managed to prioritize the work that I'm going to do on the journal. So this will be the next probably couple of videos is, you know, what am I going to do with this stuff? So let's dive in. And the first idea that I had, we're taking some of these large pieces because my guess is you're probably wondering what it is I'm going to do with these. So I'm going to take these out and set the rest of this aside. I gotta find a safe place for this stuff right now. So I'm gonna just stick this over here. stack those up just kind of off to the side. Put those in there for now. Okay. So here's the idea that I had. So I've got a vellum version and a paper version, and I wasn't quite sure what it was I wanted to do when I printed these and when I cut them out. As I was sorting, the idea came to me that I could back the solid piece with the vellum piece, make the vellum side a pocket, and make this a flip to go into the journal. 2 flips to go into the journal. And I can sew around the edges. So yeah, that's the idea that I have. And then of course we can do a little bit of extra decorating and stuff. So the question is, how do I want them to flip? I did leave a little bit of extra paper on both sides of this one, but I only left, by the time I figured out what I wanted to do, I only left the extra paper down on this side. But that doesn't matter. We're sewing around the edges of this, so I could really add the flip anywhere I wanted. So that's just what I have to kind of figure out. So I think what would be fun for this one is if it maybe came down from the top of the page like that, maybe. And then maybe this one, should we do that one from the bottom? It's already got the paper on the bottom. So, but maybe what we'll do is we'll add a more decorative strip of paper to these, or nicer paper to these, so that it doesn't look quite so undone. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, give me a minute and let me find some paper. All right, so if you remember from my ATC video, I made this watercolor background. So let's see what we can do to make these into our flip hinges. And let's start out with this one. I said this one was going to come down from the top. Okay. I'm just going to mark here for the width of the card. I bet if I go the other way, I can actually line the thing. I don't know why it's taking me so long to get used to this thing. Maybe I'm just not meant to use this kind of guillotine style cutter. Okay, so we've got our width of the card. Now what I want to do is score this in about half. So it looks like it is about 1.25 inches wide on that end, and it is about 1.25 inches wide. So it's pretty straight. It's got this torn edge on it, which I like, but it's pretty straight, all things considered. So I am going to grab my scoring stylus, and we're going to score at, oh, I don't know what this is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. And I'm only doing these one at a time, just in case I learn a lesson on the first one that I can do differently on the second one. So you get to learn with me today. So I'm going to fold that so that it's nice and strong. Okay. I'm going to cut the top of this card flush with the design. And I'm going to cut the bottom flush with the design as well. And that one's already cut to size. Okay, so let's make sure that they are the same size. They are. Do I want to round the corners or anything on this? I'm just going to put just like the tiniest little round, just to kind of finish it off. And I'm doing them together because I'm not convinced that my corner rounder would work on just the vellum. It's going to hinge from the top. If it is going to hinge from the top, then that is where we need to add our hinge. Okay, just putting a light bit of glue on there. And let's slide that into place so that it's lined up. Got a little bit of overhang here. Put the decorative side on this side because that's what's going to show through the vellum. See? Let's get some ink down. Now I've decided I want to do just a little bit more kind of ink blending on the front, just to help grunge this up just a little bit. And we're going to do the same on the back too. Because this will show through the vellum. That looks cool. I am going to just do a little bit of inking around the edge of the vellum, just because when you cut this vellum, it does kind of have like a bit of a frosty white edge to it. And so I just want to try and take that down just a bit. There we go. But I'm not going to grunge the vellum so much. I'm going to let that grunge from the back show through. So now the question is, I've got some stuff. I've got this blank paper on the back. Do I want to do any stamping that might show through the vellum? That might be kind of cool. So let's see what we've got. This might be kind of cool if I do this sunburst from the side, and then that's where I can make my pocket notch. It'll just kind of show through the back. The pocket notch will be there. It almost looks like the boy is reaching for it. If I mark where that is, just a light little mark. Oh, it just happens to be right on that little line. Okay. These are just the little details that you can do that people might not notice at first, or they might not know that it's intentional. You might think it's an accident, but they'll be like, oh, isn't that cool? It looks like the boy is reaching out for the, you know, that shiny looking thing, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna orient this the way that I need for my left-handedness here. And so I can see the, there we go. There we go. Yeah, what do you say we put a few more little stars in the sky here? Give that a little bit of breeze to help it dry here. See what that looks like now. Aw, that's really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, cool. We just need to cut our little pocket out, a little pocket notch. All right, awesome. So it is time then to get this secured to the backing. So I'm just gonna do, again, just a very light bit of glue here, because I'm going to be sewing this. I want this to be a nice strong pocket. Oh, you know what really worked out is that his hand is over here, and I was worried I was going to cut it off, but it's fine because it's over here on that side. All right, awesome. Happy accident. Happy accident. All right, I'm going to let this, set this aside just to dry a little bit while we work on this next one. Okay, so this one, let's see, do I have enough to make this a side flip? I think I do. think I do, guys. All right, awesome. I'm just noticing I've got a bunch of coffee schmutz up here. Okay, so I'm gonna trim these to size again. Got a clean image. I'm not trying to trim the little black frame off, but I'm okay if it goes because this is all gonna get inked anyway. I was just really trying to get all the white off, which I guess I could have inked, but let's get this one. And I'm using this paper cutter because I have to be so precise, and it's just nice with this. It's got that little wire on it that shows you exactly where you're going to be cutting, so I can line it up exactly where I want. All right, there we go. Okay, so should we have a flip from this side? I don't do flips from that side very often, so that would be cool. This is, I think, exactly the right size. My goodness, how lucky could we get? So let's get this scored. Still got about 1.25 inches, so I'm gonna do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8, which is about halfway. About as halfway as you can get when you've got one torn edge, right? We're gonna round the corners again. Will this show through if I put that side on? No, it won't. So let's put this side down. Okay, time to do our inking. Should we ink in blue on this one? No. I keep threatening to ink in blue and then I never do. I'll find something. I'll find something that will ink in blue. I've got a ton of ephemera pieces in there that have a cream colored background that would look really neat inked in blue, but this one I was going to ink it in blue and then it was just going to look kind of strange, I think, with that blue background on the print. So that would be why I did not do it. And then I need to grunge the background back on this. Okay. Has anybody else bought the Scorched Timber Distress the new color yet? I think it looks phenomenal. And I really want it. I told Matt, I'm like, this is one that I just must have. And he just kind of looked at me like, okay, whatever, hon. All right, what do we want to stamp on this one? I think it would be fun to put a face in the moon. I need to find some faces, so give me a minute. Let me see what I can find. Okay, well, the surprising thing is that I really don't have a lot of face stamps. I do have this, but it is a sun stamp, and, well, I'm not really sure if that's what I want to do. But I think if I stamp it on this side, I don't know. I don't know. If I grab my ink blender, I'm so worried I'm going to mess this up. And why? Because I can always reprint this. That's the nice thing about digitals. And just get the face. And then I'm going to take my wipe and wipe around the face. And We'll see what happens. I don't think it's gonna show up. Oh, it does a little bit. There's just a very faint little face in there. You'll hardly notice it at all. But I did find a Leonardo da Vinci stamp. His face is on it. So we're gonna put Leonardo in the big moon. I'm gonna figure out where I want this to go. So if I just kind of aim for there, we should be good, right? All right. Do I want it in blue or sure, why not? Because it's Leonardo, I feel like I need to do it in some like Renaissance-y brown, right? But why not? We can do them in blue. And I'm gonna let him have the posty script and stuff. Why not? Move him over just a bit. That's a cool stamp. All right. That is a cool stamp. Okay. Evie just popped in quick, so let's put that on and see what we end up with. Oh, that looks great. I don't know if you can see that through there, but that looks pretty cool. I mean, there's going to be stuff in the pocket, but if you take stuff out of the pocket, you're going to see Leonardo. So there you go, surprise. All right, so let's get this lined up here. Oh, I'm like, please tell me I didn't just do that upside down. No, I didn't. Okay, good. So that will hinge like that. All right, so I'm gonna take a minute and get these sewn, and then we'll take a look at how we might put these on some pages. Be right back. All right, well, that was a challenge and a half. So I had to, first of all, my bobbin ran out of thread about halfway through this, so then I had to refill the bobbin, which that actually went smoother than it typically goes for me, but it still is a pain in the behind, you know. But then I wanted to do, you know, a crazy stitch around the edge. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go around the pocket twice. Well, then my hands started coming around this edge. Well, this is the open edge. So I sewed on this edge. So I had to carefully pick out these stitches. So now I've got this perforation over here. So we're going to figure out what to do with that. That's okay. But the next step here is I'm going to take my bone folder and just smooth out the stitches on the paper side. So I did the top stitch on the vellum side because it's plastic. If you poke, it's gonna have that little pokey part on the plastic side, and it's not gonna be as easy to smooth it back down and ink it over. So I'm just smoothing these back down on the paper side with my bone folder. That's why this got the bottom stitch portion. Not that it really makes a difference. One of them was going to get the bottom stitch, right? But at least now it'll all be smooth. And then I'm going to grab some tea dye. And just go over that. My thread is kind of golden colored. So this tea dye should blend really nicely, and then you won't even see those holes anymore. Look at that. A little trick from me to you. Much better, right? All right, let's do this side. So I'm going to smooth those down. Including where I messed up. All right. And get this side again, just to cover up those, you know, the white core of the paper that's poking through where the needle poked through is all. So that helps disguise my mistake. I'm gonna come over here on the front and just kind of get that as well. And if I can reach in here on the inside of the pocket, there we go. So, yikes. All right, so mistake to me just means that you need to do some extra decorating to cover it up. So that's all we're gonna do. So that, let's make one for the other side. A page tab could have worked too. Page tab might have been fun, but we're doing this. I'm gonna open up this very old blue rickrack. I got this from a thrift store, of course. Oh, and I just tore the paper. Ugh. I like keeping that stuff. Old packaging. That's okay, it'll still get used. All right, so let's get just a little bit of that. And some for the other side. I feel like maybe some sort of little button or something might be fun. Okay, I've got my large spool of golden thread here. I don't know why, but it feels weird to put buttons on things without thread on them to look like they're sewn. So that's just an extra little step we're gonna do. So just, all I'm doing is just taking this, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 times through the center of, or through the holes of the button, just to create a appearance of it being sewn. So, okay. That's good. Cut that one off. I'm gonna leave these tails because I'm gonna gather those up underneath the button. Let's do this one. This is how you fix problems. You just get creative and resourceful, right? There we go. And I'm gonna give myself some tails on that one too. All right, I've had my hot glue. You know what I'm gonna do though? I'm gonna stick some paper in the pocket, or this deli paper in the pocket, waxy side out, because I don't want any glue seeping through those holes and gluing my pocket shut. That would not make me happy. So, all right, here is side number 1. Just gonna all right. And I didn't put any extra glue to glue down the rickrack because I'm depending on that glue to kind of seep through the lace a little bit and hold it down. And then there's going to be a bunch of glue on to hold the button in, so that'll hold it in place as well. All right, so what I'm going to do is kind of start bunching up this thread into kind of a messy nest and put it on the back of my button. And I'm going to put a big old dab of hot glue there. And we're gonna press that button into place. And I'm gonna wait till that glue cools before I break off what seeped through the front of the button. But you see how nice that looks now? Good. All right, so same thing here. I'm gonna just kind of wind it around my fingers a couple of times until I make kind of a messy nest of thread. To hold onto the back of the button. I'm gonna put a glue dab down and I'm gonna press my button. Until everything's into place. So this definitely added some thickness. Whoops, I dabbed that, shoot. Well, it's all right. This definitely added some thickness, but I think it's gonna be okay. This journal's gonna be pretty embellished anyway, so it's probably going to be thick. But the thing is, I'm not going to make the cover until I'm done. See, now this is stuck in here. I'm really glad I put that in between. That made a lot of sense because I can feel, yeah. So, yay. So there's pocket number 1, or pocket flip number 1 with vellum. Stamping in the back and our little decoration. Now we need to decorate this other one. What should we do? Well, I said a page tab would be kind of cool, so should we do a page tab? Kind of like that color. The moon's maybe a little too blue. Sun is not appropriate. So I'm between star or sky. And I think I like the sky one. I just think that color looks really nice. I'm gonna ink it in blue. I told you I'd find something to ink in blue. So this is printed on a laser printer, so if I work hard enough, I can actually distress some of that toner off that cardstock. So that's what I did by kind of scraping the top. That creates a little bit of a distressed look. So tip from me to you if you're working with laser printed stuff. So in this case, I just want to, we want to put it on this side of the pocket. We could. because it's flipping from top to bottom. Yeah, why don't we? We want just like a little bit of lace. I think I can do without it. Do you want to add an eyelet? I hot glued it, but now my corners are up a little bit, so I'm just gonna glue those down. I don't know why I felt the need to hot glue this, but I did. Grab an eyelet and a crocodile. That's the side I want. And let's see, where do I want this? I'm gonna put it right in the middle between the design and the words. Well, it felt like it did anyway. It looks better. It looks better. Yeah, that's what we wanted. Okay, your crocodile settings matter. Okay, so as I was doing this, what I did think, since I didn't put lace on it, I thought what would be fun though is grabbing just a little piece of this lace. And threading it through. See if I can get that to work. There we go. Got both my flags through, and what I'm going to do is have the loop come over to the side where the eyelet's not as pretty. Sew it to the back of that eyelet. Just kind of pull that a little bit. There. But anyway, okay, so there we've got both of them now decorated. Let's find maybe a page to put these on. I'm choosing specifically papers that are a little bit, that are the digitals, because I know I've got them printed on a slightly heavier stock, and I know that they can handle the weight and movement of a flip. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and fold these like they would go in a signature. And I think what I'm going to do is get these inked. So I will ink this one in blue. And why not? I'll ink this one in blue too. Okay, I've got both of these pages inked now. So I'm gonna decide what goes where. And I was kind of thinking that this would look really cool on this page. Look how nicely that fits on there. And the reason I like these flaps I like them on the writing page because it decorates the page, but then you're not losing the writing space. So I do really like that idea. So I am going to get this glued into place. Let that dry while I glue the other one, and then I'm going to sew these into place as well, just to add that extra strength. So let's get him glued into place. These ended up being just the perfect size for these flips too. And that you could glue this in as an over the page flip, but the size works out that I can keep these all fully on the page, and it's not detracting anything from the rest of the, it's not hanging over or anything, so it fits really nicely. So that actually works out really well. All right, I'm going to get these sewed and then we will be done. I'll come back to show you the final product. Okay, so here they are all sewn in, and just like previously, just like previously, I'm going to go ahead and knock down the wrong side of the seam, the bottom stitching, and just flatten that. Let's see. Grab my tea dye. So on this page, that stitching now is just kind of a decorative element. So there we go. Choop-choop-choop. And then put some cards in there. And then this one, I took the stitching all the way from top to bottom. And again, just a little bit of ink to blend that in. And now we've got just a decorative element on that page as well. So, all right, so that is my vellum topped page flip with pocket page flip 1 and pocket page flip 2 with vellum pocket. How did you like this project? Is it something that you think you're going to try on one of your own projects? I feel like overall this was a pretty simple thing to do, but I think they turned out really nicely and they look pretty impressive. So let me know in the comment. Tell me what you think of this particular project. And if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. If you like our videos on a consistent basis, consider sticking around on the channel and subscribing. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you always know when we release new content. We try and release a new video at least once a week. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. I will see you soon. Bye.